Irish ball hit out to point, where the batsmen take 2. Ball pushed out to mid off and a single. Oh, now the stream's working. So Oliver Allison on strike, wearing Jamie McCarroll's shirt.
Just trying to confuse us.
Damps it down. I'm afraid it's a regular occurrence. They all change shirts, and
That's the only problem when you put names and numbers on, isn't it?
yeah, it makes life very difficult. We normally have something like 4 Jacobs on the pitch, and that is a good hit down the ground. But in fact it's gone for 6. I thought it had plugged, but it's just crept over the boundary. And for those watching at home, we should be able to have an action replay of that. Yep. Good shot by Ollie Allison. No stopping that one. And we're back live. And that is smashed to extra cover, where the batsmen have taken 2. So 11 off the over so far. Wide ball down the leg side, signalled by umpire Neil Thomas. And dot to finish the over.
What's that?
23 for 2 I've got.
Lovely, thank you.
After 2 overs.
We're great. It's tricky because I haven't scored for a year, so you sort of come back into it.
Joined in the score box here by Petra Hum. So it'll be Tom Bullen again to Ben Robinson. Who is hit on the pad, no run. Wide ball down the leg side. Signal by umpire James Hill. Braving the elements and shorts. And a bit of bat involved there as they scramble a single. that's well hit out into mid-wicket area for 4 runs to Oliver Ellison. And we have some blue sky. There's a miracle. So the forecast here was awful last night, and we've already played one T20 match today where Colchester were successful over Saffron Waldron, and it looks as though we've got a fair chance of seeing this game through. Let's turn around the corner by Ollie Ellison, and the batsman will take 2. Bullen to Ellison, and the bat is beaten, goes through to the wicket keeper. Wicket keeper in Danny Hill. And that's well hit and a very good stop, no run. So at the end of the over, Colchester moved on to 31 for no wicket after 3 overs. So George Monks to continue, to Ben Robinson. Driven firmly to mid-on, where it's beaten the fielder. And batsmen just take 2. One goes aerial, fielder under it, but can't get there. And 1 to Ben Robinson.
That's lovely and clear, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm only CCTV cameras. I mean, good quality.
Have you actually gone to set clubs up to have this? You have?
Yeah.
Things I mentioned it after we had the meeting last.
That is a huge hit, but it's gone higher than it's gone long. But Oliver Ellison will gain 2 runs for it, moving him on to 24. The kitting I've got is a lot more sophisticated than you need. I mean, I've got 2 cameras up there. For
Yeah, I know you've got them over there. Yeah.
But you can do it on a lot.
Well, I know you said you could do it for good value for, you know.
And that's firmly struck. And this time he has got 4 runs to Oliver Ellison, who moves on to 28 off 15. So a really good start being made here by Colchester. It's probably a good thing because they have only 9 men Two players have not arrived, and that's cleared the fielder, and that 2 has gone for 4 runs. So 13 off over so far. I seem to have lost the camera there. And that has gone for 6. So at the end of the over, sorry about the unfortunate break in connection with the camera there. We've got it going again. Colchester have moved on to 50 for no wicket off 4 overs.
Lovely. Tom Lawson. Thank you, Stuart.
So, change of bowling from the River End. Bowling to Ben Robinson will be Tom Lawson. And 50 runs have come up for Colchester very quickly here. That is punch to mid-wicket, and Ben Robinson will take 2 runs. That's firmly hit to long on, where the fielder won't cut that off, and 4 runs. Replay of that fine shot, fielder going out there. So Lawson into Robinson. Not a lot of control in that shot, but he will scramble a single backward of square. Just played down the wicket, well fielded by the bowler. Who it is. And a wide ball signalled. So Colchester going here at 12.43 and over, so good start. And that was snicked, and Oliver Allison picks the single. Not convinced that was catchable. Like a bottom edge. And that is over the top of cover, and nobody's going to pick that up. I don't think. I thought that went.
I
but,
did, yeah, it was over.
Not too sport in that, because that I believe was 4, but only 2. The end of the over. Colchester have moved on to 61 for no wicket. Particularly sporting incident in the previous game where a catch was taken and the Colchester skipper and the catcher called the batsman back because the ball was grounded, so good sportsmanship.
Alright, who's bowling? Lovely, thank you.
So Naran Shanmungan, I think is the pronunciation.
Yeah, that's close.
I'm going to call him Naran. Slightly less difficult. Bowling to Oliver Allison. And that's wide of the leg stump, but he gets something on it and takes a single. Moves him on to 40. Batsmen are forced to retire at 50. So Oliver Allison nearing that point. And wide down the leg side. Signal by umpire Thomas. And that has been hooked square of the wicket, but fielded and just a single. And that's chipped up, but not catchable. One, two, Ollie Allison takes him to 41 off 21, so an excellent strike rate.
It's great because you're answering all my questions. Saves me having to speak, really. My little squeak.
Don't worry. And we've got a reverse sweep that has connected with, and that is a long way down to that boundary, but it has gone for 4. That's about the 5th reverse sweep we've seen today, and the first one that's actually connected. So, right, it's connected with.
Must have the confidence to be able to do them.
Yeah.
One's calm.
They've not been very well in the previous game. There were a number, and they're not very well executed. Ben Robertson advancing down the wicket, doesn't connect. So 69 off 6, run rate 11.5. So if we were to continue at this rate, Copford would be chasing something like 230. And this is a mandatory sanitised break.
Can you do ours now as well?
Which, when I found the slide, I can give mention to our sponsors, Positive Waste Solutions. We've done some fantastic work painting the front of our clubhouse recently, so great to have a sponsor that cares so much about the cricket club. Just remember to go back to the live action. So I think this is still Thomas Lawson. Bowling to Oliver Allison on 41. Firmly driven down the ground and beats two fielders. Two not so great bits of fielding there, and 4 runs. So we've had 2 batsmen retire on 50 in the previous game, each going into the 50 with a 6. And I suspect Oliver Allison will probably try and emulate that, knowing Ollie. And he's chipped it up, but just for a single. Didn't quite get hold of that. So 5 off the over so far. Helicopter shot from Ben Robinson, and the batsman comfortably take 2. That's well hit to deep point, where it's cut off and just a single. Umpire James Hill signals a wide. So 7 extras so far, all wides. And that's chipped out too long on between 2 fielders who seem to be leaving it to each other. I think they, was it 3 there?
3, yeah.
3. So 3 runs.
He's eking it out, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got to 49, and I'm sure he'll attempt to emulate his 2 colleagues that have reached 50s earlier in the day with 6s. Knowing Ollie, he'll definitely go for his maximum. That was a bit of a thick edge snick, I think, for a single. And at the end of the over, 7 overs gone, 82 for 7. Robinson on 26, Allison 49. Put some bowling figures on the screen. Some fairly expensive bowling figures there. Doreen to continue to Ben Robinson. Looks like another reverse sweep, which has gone down backward of point, and they just take 2. It's gone backward of square, where ball's picked up, thrown left arm, and a further 2 to Ben Robinson. That's just chipped to mid wicket. Single. And predictable, Ollie Allison has a big swipe, and he's given out leg before wicket on 49. Identify the incoming batsman in a moment, but we'll just play a replay of the wicket. He looked fairly adjacent to the stumps. And the incoming batsman is Guy Haynes. Just to confuse us, Petra is wearing Johnny Bassett Graham's shirt. And he pushes that out into the covers for an easy single.
So I think you only just get used to the numbers and then they change.
And a quick single, but they make it. And at the end of the over, Colchester moved on to 89 for 1 off 8 overs. Copford getting through these overs fairly quickly, which is a good thing.
No, that's still Tom.
It's still Lawson, I think. So from the river end, Tom Lawson bowling to Ben Robinson, who was 32 off 22 deliveries with 2 fours. And that's driven out to the covers, but no run. That's a fine shot down the ground. Nobody going to cut that off. And 4 runs. Fine Fine shot by Ben Robinson on the replay. And that's paddled back with a square and swept back with a square where they've run 2, and in fact it's gone all the way for 4. So Robinson moves on to 40 off 25 for fours. It's a good strike rate with so few fours. And that is chipped up, but fielder doesn't get under it, and they take a single. So Ben Robinson definitely having a life there.
That was the other Lawson.
So Guy Haynes, strike. Tom Lawson loses his footing there, so aborts his run up. There's another go. And that's cut to point on a fairly easy single. And that is hit very hard, well fielded by a young man down there, and that is 2-2 Robinson, which also brings up the Colchester's 100 runs, in fact 101 in 8.6, well 9 overs and 37 minutes. So at the current rate, Colchester on target for around 224. And one might expect them to potentially accelerate from here. So Naren, who's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 15, continues, and that's just dabbed around the corner, or is it a leg bye? In fact, it's a leg bye. Signal by umpire Neil Thomas. So Robinson on 43. And it's hit that. In fact, fielded by the bowler, I think. Lost sight of that one for a moment. And a reverse sweep brings the demise of Ben Robinson, who is comprehensively bowled. And this brings captain Joe McGregor to the crease. Guard, I think we can have another replay of that. Maybe not. Yes, we can. Not the greatest of shots there. McGregor pushes that out to the covers for a single. And that is a no ball. which means Neil Thomas has signalled a free hit. Which has been firmly struck down the ground, and that has gone all the way for 6. So Guy Haynes quickly on to 8. And a no ball called for overstepping, I think that is. So a no ball with 1 run scored. So Joe McGregor on strike with a free hit to come. I suspect Mr. McGregor may fill his boots here. Driven firmly down the wicket for 4 runs. So at the end of the over, halfway stage Colchester have moved on to 116 for 2. Thumbs up from my colleague scorer Petra Hum here. Always good when we're in sync. So Thomas Lawson to bowl his 4th and final over. Figures so far: 3 overs, no maidens, 0 for 36. Bowling to Guy Haynes. Some very young youngsters in this Copford side, so making a great effort. Let's turn around the corner where the batsman can pick up 2 runs.
When he actually got 2 under 19s out there, the rest of them
are very young youngsters. Yeah, you can see that. It's driven down the wicket and well stopped, but a run ensues. Yes, Colchester are a somewhat older group of youngsters with a lot of experience under the belt. A lot of Essex age group players, and Joe McGregor, of course, having played for Essex seconds. Beautifully all along the deck for a single. In fact, a misfield enables them to go for 2. It's 2-1-2 this over, isn't it?
2-1-2.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether I'd already scored that one, you know. So 2-1-2. That's been hit hard by Joe McGregor for a single. Bit of poor camera work by me there. So Lawson to Haynes. That's just dubbed down for a single. Haynes showing good experience there with the Copford field spread far and wide. Not sure how many are supposed to be in the circle here, but there's not many of them. I think the umpires have been a bit generous with this, and that is a no ball. and a free hit. That's hit very hard through long on, but just a single, and no, in fact there's overthrows, so lots of fun and games, and I think that became 2 at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's at the other end.
So for 11 overs, Colchester moved on to 126 for 2. Guy Haynes 13, Joe McGregor 10. Partnership of 24 off 12 deliveries.
Still narrowing. Still narrowing. Look at the shape of them, isn't it?
And Nareen to bowl his final over, 2 for 29. His figures. That's turned to square leg for a single. And very respectfully played back down the wicket by Joe McGregor. And one down the leg side, and swung to the total for a wide. Very experienced batsman there, Joe McGregor, just pushes it short of the fielder to ensure that he gets 2. That's it hard, straight down the ground through long on for 4 runs. Colchester going along at roughly 11.5 and over. And turn to backward square. Batsman take a single. One ball to come with this over. That should be Nareem's last delivery. And that's hit firmly through long on for 4 runs. So Nareem, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 42. And Thomas Lawson has also finished, 4 overs, no maidens, 0 for 46. So we're going to need a change of bowler here, Petra, as we have a sanitised break. The reason they're all...
So hands on the head, is that discussion as to who's going in?
Yeah. The reason that they're all huddled in that spot is there is a little groundsman's cubby hole, access to a sprinkler system where they keep the bottle of sanitizer. No, I'll mention that. I'll probably get stolen from in there.
A lot of grounds are doing that now, aren't they?
Yeah.
As ours is behind the tree.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's beyond the Copford tree, the famous Copford tree.
Right, well, Robbie Tunn's got the ball in his hand, so
So you reckon it could be Robbie Tun?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a sign of the times of the day. I went into Asda, not Asda, I went to Tesco, and you know the sanitised bottles as you walk in.
Oh no, take that back. It's not Robbie.
Not Robbie Tun.
Who's bowling? Is that Pranav? Possible elimination. Oh,
So who's bowling?
that was Pranav the first round. Sorry, Phil. Right, this is not. This is
Nareen.
Naren. The other one is Pranav. So it was Pranav the other end. Sorry, Phil. Oh,
Okay, I'll have to correct this.
sorry.
Right, bit of misidentification there, unfortunately, on the stream. So is it 2 dots we've had? Right, I'll correct that at the end. I think that is just a... Oh no, it must be a bit of bat in that. So the first 4 overs from that end, or the previous 4 overs, were actually bowled by
Another one, Subash.
Subash.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Fortunately, it's gone out on the video stream with the wrong name, but
Apologies for that.
not a problem. Not a problem. Driven down the wicket for a single. It happens. I think I'll sort it out at the end of the innings. Somewhat complicated to change it for. We are about 250 yards away from the square here, which doesn't help. That's hitting on the pads, but leg by signalled. Just a single, and that was a single to McGregor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How's this over gone, Petra?
We've got dot dot 1 1 leg by dot single. So 3. So Haynes was dot dot. Then we had a single.
Yeah, I've gone wrong here because messing about with that.
So I should have it as 143.
Yeah, I've gone somewhere. I've gone wrong with that misidentification of the bowler. So we must have a change of bowler here. So who have we got?
That is Samuel Lawson.
So Samuel Lawson, and that's a no ball, and it's gone for 4. And the free hit. We're agreeing the score's 148 though.
It is now, yes.
Yeah, 148. I think when I tried to correct that previous thing, it
So sorry.
no problem. No problem. Sorted out in the end. You can always look at the video and
Yeah.
credit the right batsman. So that's 2 to McGregor. Bringing up the 150 runs. And that's hit firmly into the covers, but just a single. So bringing Guy Haynes on strike, who has hit that
Sorry, called it. No ball.
square for a no ball. So it's a no ball with a single. So McGregor on strike for another free hit. And that has been hit out to McDon, but just a single. Lots of things going on in the scorebook here. Combination of no balls, and that's turned back with a square where it is cut off, but the batsmen take 2. And still 2 balls left in this over.
These box isn't big enough.
I've nearly filled my column here on the computer. And that's driven firmly down to mid-on for a single. So cut to backward point for a single to Joe McGregor. And at the end of the over we have Colchester on 158 for 2 off 14.
Just put a single in. You know when you're looking, you think, oh, it's not
Yeah.
158.
Yeah.
3.
So Noreen, who didn't bowl 4 overs earlier, bowls to McGregor, who takes a single. Push square of the wicket, and it's misfielded, enabling the batsman to go for 2. Taking Guy Haynes on to 25. That's been hit high and long, and I don't think anybody's going to cut that off. And no, they haven't. So 4 runs. Moves Guy Haynes on to 29. Looking like a fairly large total here for Colchester. Ream walks his run up. And he has bowled Guy Haynes. And incoming batsman is Jamie McCarroll, wicket-keeper. Right, let's have a go at sorting out the overs that were misallocated. It was over 5, I think, was now in. That was edit. The bowler for that over was in fact Pranav Subhash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For the entire over. So that is now correct. And the next one should also be Pranav Subhash. So that's correct.
Wide.
And we'll have a wide ball for that. So it's a wide ball to Jamie McCarroll. So 2 more corrections and we'll be back on track.
I'll be having a full meltdown now.
No?
I'll be having a full meltdown.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Oh, don't.
Petra, it happens all the time. I'm not,
Well, they're a year below my team, as it were.
yes, it's so difficult to identify players from up here. Let's just turn around the corner, no run. So
If I'd put my distance eyes in, I might have seen a bit better, but I've got one for reading and one for distance. So.
I think I'll finish the other 2 changes at the end of the innings.
Wide.
And that is a wide ball. Now hang on, this should be Nareem bowling, shouldn't it?
Yeah, this is number 5, which is Nareen.
This is Nareem.
Yeah.
I think I've edited the wrong one here. Just driven down the wicket for a single to Jamie McCarroll, end of the over. 168 for 3 off 15.
Yeah.
So we need to so over 5 was Pranav Subhash. Over 7 should be Pranav Subhash.
No, 5 was Lawson.
Oh, I think I have to sort at the end.
Yeah, I think so, because otherwise we won't be looking at them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that sort of helps with the colours a little bit. But
McCarroll has hit that back to the bowler. Yeah, viewers will get a view of scorebox chaos when we get misidentification. Not easy to correct it on the hoof when you're 6 overs ahead of where the error was made. But, unfortunately, we identified the 2 young bowlers the wrong way round.
My team down there didn't help me either.
No. Yes, criticism of the Copford team for not helping. It's
That's my parents.
2 to McCarroll. We'll be right by the end of the game.
Oh.
And that is a dot. So this is Samuel Lawson, isn't it, bowling?
It is.
Yeah. So. No, I'm fine, right, thanks. So leg by. And that's firmly driven by Joe McGregor down the wicket. 2 long on for a single. And at the end of the 16th over, we have a score of 172 for 3. Joe McGregor on 30 off 22, Jamie McCarroll 3 off 7. And it will be Noreen to bowl. Not sure how many overs actually has bowled.
This is his third.
Is this third, is it?
Pick a name, any name.
Well, my screen's showing a few more, but that's because the part of I was allocated to him in error. So it's just just a single to Joe McGregor. Well struck in between 2 fielders who ball's picked up, thrown back, but 2 runs to Jamie McCarroll. Dab down to long off for a single. So John McGregor strike, hits that firmly straight down the ground for just a single. Possibly be a leg by. It's 1 something. 1 leg by. struck and a single. So another end of the over, 17 overs gone, 179 for 3. So still Samuel Lawson to Joe McGregor, who drives that straight back to the bowler, but it's put down. So a life for Mr. McGregor. Was it hard, I think. And that's driven firmly out to long off for a single. Nicely clipped backward of square, and the batsmen take 2. Oh, hang on, we've got an overthrow. So make that 3. That should bring Joe McGregor back on strike. That's correct.
Yeah. So when you look up and you're like, oh, was he doing that in?
Yeah. Umpires consulting here. Not quite sure what that's about. Oh, hang on. Neil, can you please explain?
Dead balls, only 2 runs scored.
Thank you. So, umpire has called a dead ball there, so only 2 runs scored. But we've got a further single to add to that now.
Trying to mess the book up, aren't they? And your screen.
No, I'm fine at that one. Not quite sure where the dead ball came in, unless it had already been returned to the keeper or something. But certainly only 2 runs followed by 2 singles.
1 to come.
Indeed, 1 to come with this over, and then 2 further overs to go.
A little bit of heat would be good.
Sorry?
A little bit of heat would be good.
There's a heater under here if you want to put it on.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I think it'd be nearly snipped onto his stumps, but no run. Quite a good over that one for Copford. 184 for 3 off 18. 2 overs to go.
Right, looks like Monks is coming back on. He's stripping off.
So, returning to bowl from the river end is George Monks. So far 2 overs, no maidens, 0 for 31.
Yeah, got Pranav and Naren mixed up though, Stuart. Not that you heard that, but there you go. Why didn't you say that before?
I completely scored on my own yesterday for 120 overs, and it was very difficult. 1, 2 to Joe McGregor. 20 overs scoring alone,
No,
and it's so difficult.
I
I had to keep radio on the umpires
I
yesterday.
refuse to score alone for
Yeah.
It's too much going on. You don't necessarily know the other team.
To McGregor.
Yeah.
Now the problem yesterday was under the COVID regulations in the Essex League, if a side doesn't want to bring a scorer, they can use the COVID excuse. So I ended up scoring completely on my own.
So I'd have a hissy fit.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not scoring either then.
To
Yeah. McGregor.
McGregor. I mean, I had somebody help me as a spotter, you know, pair of eyes, but something goes wrong. It's hopeless.
Well, I must say I'm struggling to see, even though we've got a nice bright pink ball,
Yeah.
the lighting's quite poor.
It's
isn't
not great light, no.
No.
1, 2, Joe McGregor.
42.
So McGregor on to 42. And that's hit firmly down the ground and dropped short of the two fielders for a single to James McCarroll. So a run rate of 10.19. I think will take some getting. That's a great stop out in the deep from a young man.
Luke Pressmate, that was. It was a single
And
to
they
John.
just take a single. So with 1 over to go, Colchester are on 193 for 3. I presume it will. Oh no, we've got a change of bowling. It's not Sam Lawson because he had the skin sleeves, didn't he? So this is
Looks like Tom Bullen.
Tom Bullen, is it?
Yes, number 1, yeah, Tom Bullen.
So Tom Bullen coming back to bowl, having previously bowled 2 overs, no maidens, 0 for 19. To Joe McGregor, who has chipped that into long on and gains 2. So Colchester heading for 200 here, that's right. And that looks like a fine delivery. So just 4 overs of the innings left. And that's firmly hit out to wideish long on for 2. Taking Joe McGregor on to 47. Scored a 50 earlier today, 50 retired, not out. And he went there with a 6 and he looks as though he's trying to do it again. And it's dropped. So he gets just a single. So I suspect he's going to get a not out to his name rather than a retired. 2 balls to come, Joe McCarroll on strike, who dabs it square for a single. So Joe McGregor needing 2 for 50, and I suspect he will have a big wind up here and aim this somewhere in the direction of the sight screens. gets 4 for his trouble, and Colchester finish on 203 for 3. And we'll now have a brief innings break. And we'll return to commentary in a few minutes.
Number 6.
Brilliant. Thank
Right, well it looks like it's Bullen and Lawson that are out there because that's what he was trying to tell me, but I stopped him.
So, back live to open the batting. It's Bullen and Thomas Lawson.
Right, who's facing first? Mark? Who's facing first? I can't see. Thank you.
So Lawson,
And
Thomas Lawson
I
on
need a
strike.
batting order as well, please. And that's Tom Bullen out there as well, isn't it?
And this is long car, is it?
This is Sharma.
Sharma.
So who's out there? Right, so it's Tom Lawson and Danny Hill that's out there.
Right, okay.
I need a batting order.
So Danny Hill. So Thomas Lawson is on strike and Danny Hill is the non-striker.
Right, and Joe Merritt will be number 3.
And Arian Sharma to bowl, and we're underway. And it's a dot ball. To start us off.
A Sharma.
It's a pretty good start from Arian Sharma.
Yeah,
Right on the money
turn
first up.
back with a square. And 2 runs.
We're off the mark.
Copford here needing a run rate of 10.27 and over. That's firmly driven for no run.
Fantastic stop by Seb Wheeler at backward point. Been a handy player for the club for a couple of years now. Playing a bit of twos cricket, playing well in the Sunday team as well.
So it's dot 2 dot, isn't it?
Dot 2 dot dot.
Yeah, dot 2 dot. Right, okay. Just checking the health of the stream there. And that will be a wide ball. So Copford move on to 3.
Looked like a bit of swing there for Arian, just going away. With the 2 slips, I don't think you'll mind seeing that, even though it was a wide.
Swung back with a square, where they just take a single.
How's the stream like feel? Am I going to ruin anyone's afternoon by
No, you're not going to ruin anybody's afternoon at all, Keir. It's pretty good actually, the lack of lag today. Just a dot to finish the over, and we are Copford of 4 after 1 over. And it's silly showing a partnership card with only 1 over gone.
It's a tidy. Looks like we're going to open up with Felix Bond Roberts from the far end.
Sharma from your end, and it's Felix Bond Roberts from this end.
Thank you, Neil. I've actually got Keir up here helping me, thank you. So, Felix Bond Roberts. Keir, if you pull your chair in between,
Is that alright?
if you're happy with that, Petra.
It's cosy. As long as it's radiating some body heat, I don't know.
Right, I'm joined here by Keir Young, who looks
Wide.
after these youngsters. Wide ball from Felix Ron Roberts, bowling to Thomas Lawson. And good to have you co-commentating here, because
It's good to be here.
hard work on your own. is pushed out through the covers, where the batsmen take 2.
It's a very long boundary out there, Phil, at the moment.
It's huge. I mean, we've had some seriously low scores in the first team in the last couple of weekends. You know, just basically 4s have become 2s. Very long boundaries. Driven, but no run.
Oscar Baker showing his usual enthusiasm there at mid-off, racing towards that ball to get a good stop in.
Yeah, if you watch the screen here,
That's how up to date we are. It looks pretty spot on.
It's pretty good at the moment. And that's nicely cut back with a point,
I think that one will reach the boundary.
and it has indeed. Umpire Thomas signalling 4 runs to Thomas Lawson.
Colchester sticking with a pretty attacking field still. J-Mac still got his 2 slips in. I think he'll be quite hopeful of getting a few wickets and bowling them out.
So score moves on to 11. Driven down towards mid-off, no run. 2 balls to come in this over.
I'm pleased Felix is getting a bowl here, because he was into bat relatively high up the order, but didn't get to make it out. Such was the quality of our batting performance.
And that is turned back with a square, and that's gone all the way for 4. And hopefully they've caught a replay of that. Yep. Yeah. Decent shot. Yes, Felix is not a player I've ever seen before. And that is snicked, but it's beaten Jamie McCarroll, the keeper, and
Go down as a drop, but it's a very difficult
Yeah,
chance.
very
Jamie
difficult.
not played a lot of cricket this year, been focusing on his exams,
yeah.
as is right.
So 2 runs to finish the over takes Copford on to 17.
Nevertheless, good to see Jamie out there today. Hopefully he'll be making himself available for adult cricket again soon. We've had a number of wicket keepers playing in our second team, and I'm sure Jamie would quite like to reclaim his shirt.
I think I read yesterday you used 34 players, was it, in the second team this year?
We've gone through a number of players in our 2s this year. Results starting to pick up in the last couple of weeks. So there's been some improved performance, shall we say.
And Aryan Sharma bowls a wide one, adding 1 to the score.
I think the time cricket format might suit our second team, especially given the strength and depth we've got of bowling at the club now. We've got guys like Dan Thacker and Jordan Milburn who have been really effective with the new ball, and our capacity to bowl sides out at that level is significantly improved.
Driven firmly, but no run. So Danny Hill on strike. And that's actually a pretty good stop by Jamie McCarroll, I reckon.
Yeah, looking for his Yorker
backwards.
there, Arian.
The light isn't great. If anybody's, well, those watching on the broadcast, it looks very bright, but it's distinctly gloomy in real life. Chipped out towards some of the mid-wicket area, and a single to Hill. Bringing in Thomas Lawson on strike. dot.
Fielded by Guy Haynes. Had a very, very busy day in the field over the course of this weekend. I think he's taken 2 or 3 catches. Very safe pair of hands there at cover. He's in the game again here, but that's going to beat him and go away for 4 through the offside.
Just a bit of moisture in the air. It tends to, the moisture gets in the camera. Sometimes we get an aberration on the screen, unfortunately, but can't be helped on a day like this. And that's put backward a square, long chase, but batsman take 2.
I think with so much rain around over the last few days, you can only give a lot of praise to our groundsman Jez for getting what should be 3 games of cricket completed, where their other teams have had a lot of rain interruptions.
Well, the forecast today was diabolical. I didn't expect any cricket to be played today. So Copford have moved on to 25 for no wicket off 3.
Looks like it's going to be Bomb Roberts to continue. Pretty good start this by the Colchester bowlers, but nevertheless Copford going along at nearly 9 and over, is that?
8.33, required rate 10.53. So with wickets in hand, this is a good effort. That's nicely played.
That will help.
Just forward of points, and it's gone. No, it's been fielded on the boundary.
That's a pretty smart chase with Seb Wheeler's hairline like Professor Snape flowing through the wind as he runs after it.
So to the hill. So yeah, it confused me really.
That was a 3, wasn't it?
Was it 3?
Is it 3?
Yeah, I think.
Yes, it was.
It should be 3.
It was my error. So 3. That's following the ball, and that's been chipped skyward for safe. So that should be 2 to Lawson.
We have a signal here, Phil, for 1 short.
Oh, here we go. So, gotta remember how to do this. Run short. Oh, hang on. Undo ball. Come on, undo ball. So it's a 1.
Well, Phil
Run short.
works out how to get his scoring right. I can commentate. Felix has dropped one in a little bit short there, and it's been nicely picked up by the Copford batsman.
So who hit that? That was
Lawson.
So run short, and Lawson scored
4 runs off that previous delivery.
4 runs.
Nicely
Right.
picked up over deep backward square leg.
26.
So that was hit by Lawson, you say?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
It's not
He
right.
should currently be on strike.
So Lawson just scored 4.
Lawson's now hit one straight in the air, and that looks like that's been nicely held by Jamie McCarroll. That's gone a long, long way up. Felix Bomb Roberts claims the first victim of the Copford innings.
So Lawson is caught by
McCarroll.
McCarroll
Top.
in the list, and I'm up to date now. That run short threw me.
I think
Short
that's
run.
likely to be a key wicket for Colchester. As Lawson looks, as captain, looks like one of their better players.
Yeah.
I think he got 100 yesterday. I think. That's what I was trying to look at.
So Petra, who have we got batting?
Oh, that's Joe Merritt that's gone in.
So the incoming batsman is Joe Merritt, and score 33 for 1. That's all that excitement.
As the coach of this team, it's not great to see so many lads with their hands in their pockets, but I would mention it is very, very chilly out there. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's
and
not
let them off
June,
for that one.
not June weather. So that's pushed out into the covers, no run. By Joseph Merritt.
No, it's Danny Hill's facing.
Danny Hillsford, what have I missed?
They crossed while the ball was in the air, I think, Phil.
On the wicket.
Yep.
Oh, So Danny
Feeds in
Hill's
again.
facing, and it was a dot. Right.
Looks like that one's been under edged and pretty smartly stopped by Jamie McCarroll with his legs.
Right, I think I'm at square now. 33 for 1 off 4. So many things going on in the scorebox here.
Copford's still not a million miles away
Yeah.
from the run rate. I think they'll be reasonably
Yeah.
happy with this start. And I think this is Seb Wheeler who's going to be coming on for his first bowl of the evenings.
Yeah. So it should be Seb Wheeler to Joseph Merritt, I reckon. That correct picture?
Yeah, Joe's got the black trousers
Yeah,
on, and that was
yeah.
the original kit.
Yeah.
So it's a change of bowler, yeah.
This is Seb
Yes,
Wheeler.
Seb Wheeler to bowl from the river end. It is so long since I scored a 1-run short. It must be
You've
about
forgotten how to do
it must
it.
be about 4 years. I had to think hard how to change it on a computer. It's not something you encounter. Well, so it must be about 4 years since I last encountered it. There's 2 ways you can do it, and I managed to correctly score it 1, indicate 1 short, and then that put the wrong batsman on strike for me, so I did it again and it got doubly confused. So it's
Tidy little start that from Seb. He'll be hoping for a little bit of swing here. There's not been a great deal of movement this afternoon, but with a still pretty new rock and Seb Wheeler's good wrist position, I think he'll be hoping to get 1 or 2 to slide away from the batsman here. A little bit short that time from Seb. With that away movement, he needs to get him driving, get him on the front foot.
and just a dot.
Yeah, pretty tidy length again
3
from
dots.
Seb. I think he might be in for a decent bowl here, Seb Wheeler. I think he might get 2 or at least 3 on the bounce here.
And the great thing here, Keir, watching me do this, you can see how easy it is to score. I mean, you can ignore the camera stuff because you don't need to do all that, but
Second team scoring is a bit of a challenge. Me and Phil have a pretty weekly heated email exchange about how it's been done. I'm all for the technology, however, getting the team and the electricity and all sorts to do it when you're dispersed to all sorts of East London can be a bit of a challenge.
it's just so much easier on a computer than in a book because all you've got to do is dot press 1, 2, 3 and it all adds up for you.
Yeah.
And a wide ball.
Yeah, some of the younger players' mathematics is certainly challenged. I'll fully out Keelan Milburn for his erratic scoring a number of weeks ago. If you're listening in, Keelan, you really need to work on that boy. Keelan not made himself available for this fixture. He's of course eligible to play. I think Keelan's under 17. Been a very strong player in our twos again this year.
That beats the bats.
Claimed himself the title as Golden Arm in our twos. Often comes on and buys a wicket. Useful footballer as well, Keelan in the warm-ups. This is not captured on the cameras, but the Colchester, having played 1s and 2s cricket this year, I can say the second team footballing ability is far greater than that in the 1s.
Oh, well, there's a challenge laid down.
That's a really great over there from Seb Wheeler. I think
Just
it's maybe
the
just the
wide.
wide from it. Unfortunate not to get the M in the scorer's book there, but
So
he'll be happy with his work.
34 for 1. By comparison, Colchester was 61 for no wicket after 5.
Oh, I haven't said hello to you.
Is he listening in?
I think Ivan is listening in.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
I did
Shout
send
out
him the
to
link.
Ivan listening in at home. Happy Father's Day.
We're like ships passing in the night.
And,
He came home from here.
yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to look twice there because I thought this was Darren Eckford wearing number 73, but it's
Not
not.
quite.
It's actually
It's a bit old, isn't it?
Akshay Lonka.
it's
bowling.
Askey Lonka, yeah.
You know, a few varieties of his name get issued out. I go with
Yeah.
Akshay, Ankshay, all sorts come out.
That's just a single, I believe.
But not particularly fussy lad. Won't ever correct anyone on saying his name incorrectly. He's very polite lad.
Akshay.
It's
AK.
A-K-S-H-A-Y. I think it's Akshay.
Akshay Lonka. My apologies, Akshay, for my incorrect pronunciation, but I'm a Brummie and you don't expect me to speak proper. And that's played. That, oh, I thought that went backward square, but it
No,
didn't.
no, that's been driven up to Oscar
It was just the
Baker
way
at mid-off.
just the way the shot went.
It's just a dot, wasn't it?
Yes, just a dot. One and a dot. It's over. 35 for one, off 5.2.
Be nice to see Akshay get a wicket here. He's bowled very well in men's cricket this year. Works very hard at his cricket. Always down the club, in the nets, bowling as much as he can. And I think the biggest improvement in his game has been his batting. He's come in this year and got a number of decent scores in both men's and juniors cricket. We're delighted with his progress.
Well, wearing number 73, that's a big shirt to fill. From skipper Darren Eckford.
And Akshay's played out there into the covers. I think that's Guy Haynes there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cover.
Not as big a shirt as Kieran Savile's to fill.
Well,
But
the shirt selection is quite a difficult one. Me, Oliver Hills, and Darren Eckford all had our shirts to offer up. Darren Eckford is about 6'2", significantly
that's
taller than
poorly
Akshay,
fielded,
and me and Hillsy are significantly wider than Akshay is.
a
So,
single.
so a bit of a challenge knowing what shirt to give him today. But he wanted the first team skipper's shirt, so he's got that on his back. Doing it pretty good justice as well, bowling nice lines here.
As Kieran Savile was telling me yesterday, that they make the shirts as wide as they are long, and that's why it's down to his knees. So just a dot finishes the over, and I make that 36 off 6.
Yeah, another
One
tidy
wicket.
over for Colchester there. Really pushing this rate up as we take a sanitisation break.
It's now
How many have you got long time?
Lonka.
Went for
where
3.
are we? He went for
So I've missed it.
12. 2 overs, no maidens, no.
Twelve.
Oh, sorry, no,
Sharp
tell a lie.
Lonka, you've
No,
got
it's
down.
bowling.
Lonka, 1 over, no maidens, 2 I've got.
Right, so what was that then? So it's 1 dot dot.
That over went 1 dot 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 1 dot. That is assuming that we have Joseph Merritt on strike now.
Pretty sharp sanitisation break there from Colchester. I'd like to take 100% credit, slightly shared with Kieran Savile and the team at Hutton, for putting the sanitiser down the hole that is just on the edge of the square there. Has really sped up the sanitisation break rather than running all the way to the clubhouse for.
So Joseph
Doing
Merritt
it.
in the black trousers. So I was correct. Otherwise we'd have the wrong batsman on strike.
No, I missed the run.
Sorry?
I missed the run.
Oh, you missed the run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. It's when you said 36, I'm thinking, oh, I've only got 35.
Yeah. Easy done.
I think Seb's drifted that one away from the right-hander there, as I said he might do. Doesn't look like there's a great deal of footwork going along here. Looks like he bats a little bit like Alex Hale, stays quite leg side of the ball and looks to chop away on the offside,
Just
as he has done there.
dot. I just need to clear these kids away. Just having to clear a couple of young lads away from the camera power pack, kicking a football. So that's
Dropped quite nicely down to mid-off. Pretty sharp bit of fielding by Felix nonetheless. Had a quick shot at the stumps, but they get through pretty comfortably.
1. otherwise what happens is the
Yeah,
audio
you're
gets
talk
ahead of
before.
the stream.
Wheeler in again. Driven back up the pitch. It's going to be Felix in the game again at long on. Skip and McGregor making the younger man do most of the running there.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm hoping I'm going to take delivery of a new bit of kit that will speed up the transfer between camera and laptop, because that's
Very good.
it's a few milliseconds, but it adds up.
Yeah.
You know, and that is
Pretty full
a
from Wheeler.
super shot.
Nicely struck away. Why is this Merritt on strike?
This
It
is
is.
Joseph Merritt, 4 runs. And we should have a nice action replay of that. If it's not already played, no, it's about to come up. I know the boys were so keen on us doing the video today, so thanks for all your hard work, getting parental consents and
It's a bit of a
chasing
challenge.
around.
But, it is brilliant having this technology, especially for under-19s cricket. I mean, there's some massive stream watch backers in this side. I think Guy Haynes is the worst candidate. As soon as he's given out, he's got his phone in his hand, rewatching his full innings.
I think what takes us from 400 views to about 500 views each game is Joe McGregor. Takes it to bed with him. So Ashkay Lonker bowling to Danny Hill, and that is shipped out mid-wicket way, where it's picked up and fielded, and it's gone over.
Absolutely fizzed from Ollie Allison out of the deep square leg boundary. Miles over Jamie McCarroll's head, but pretty smart of the boys backing that up. 2 men back there, making sure there's no overthrows.
And that's just pushed out into the covers for a single by Joseph Merritt.
This is long car.
Yeah.
Yeah, long car now to Hill.
Could you just give me a breakdown of the over so far, please?
Two ones.
Thank you.
Lonker's in
that
again.
Is well hit. And that's gone for 4 runs.
And that was Hill.
To Hill, indeed.
Yeah, Hill the opener. He's had a bit of a look. Not had a great deal of strike so far in the opening 7 overs, but I think he's decided with the rate creeping up, he's going to have a bit of a dip now.
He's only faced 12 balls. Did he open?
Pretty sure he opened.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
So he's been in 7 overs and only faced, well, that's his 13th delivery.
And Hill's played the exact same shot there, but quite smartly, Joe McGregor's followed the ball, stuck a man out on that boundary.
And gets 2. That's actually remarkable that he's been in for 7.4 overs and only faced 13 deliveries. I think he should get a fine for strike avoidance here. Copford 50 runs comes up, and that's well hit and well fielded.
Oh, hello, son. He's working at the zoo now, so he couldn't be here today.
Colchester Zoo was very much in the plaudits of Ben Robinson yesterday, who I think went in the week and said that it was the 13th best zoo in the world. I'm not sure how accurate that is. You have to take a lot of what Ben Robinson says with a pinch of salt, but
13th best in the world.
nevertheless a very good zoo. Would highly recommend anyone that's not been to go and check it out, especially now it's open again with COVID restrictions easing.
And if anybody's listening from Colchester Zoo, we're very welcome to have a new sponsor if they want to advertise on our live stream.
That was 6 off that over, wasn't it?
50 for 1 off 8
Lovely.
is what I have.
That's brilliant. Thanks.
So it should be Seb Wheeler to Joseph Merritt.
Other zoos, of course, are available.
But not in Colchester. So just a dot.
And who's bowling now, please?
This is Wheeler continuing.
Wheeler.
Continuing, thank you very much. Stop ball.
Seb Wheeler so far, 2.1 overs, no maidens, 0 for 7.
Merrick's facing.
Yeah, I think it's slightly disappointing that George Offord has to go home and revise because they're lacking a bit of a spin option here, Colchester. There's a lot of sort of medium pace, hitting a good length bowlers. There might not be too much variety in this
So
attack.
has George got exams or?
George has an exam tomorrow. He is, of course, at the best university in the country, Loughborough. Of course, home and educated a number of Colchester and East Essex legends.
That narrows it down then.
Yeah, former Colchester chairman Andrew Kennedy got his degree in chemistry at Loughborough University. Rob George was Loughborough educated. Keir Young, second team captain, Loughborough educated. And of course, two of the stars of this under-19 side, Joe McGregor and George Offord, up there at Loughborough, who of course have just appointed a new vice chancellor, Robert Allison, very popular in his time there, but I don't believe he's retired. I think he might have moved on to pastures new, but recently awarded 7th best university in the country. If anyone's enjoying this Loughborough conversation, please let me know on my socials. Doesn't sound like Phil or Petra are too interested, but
I went to the University of Life, I did. I did all my professional qualifications post school. That's 3 runs.
back here at Castle Park, Wheeler's gone a bit too full there, looking for his Yorker. He's been struck away to that huge leg side boundary. They've completed 3 runs, and who is that gone to field that? It looks like it might be Oscar Baker, so it's surprising they didn't run 6. If Piers is watching at home, I do apologise for the absolute spray Oscar's getting this afternoon, but he takes it all in very good spirits.
And that is firmly hit, and that's gone to the longest boundary. And it's, I think the fielders are grateful that's gone the way they were trekking after it. 7 off the over puts Copford on to 57 for 1 off 9.
Yeah, maybe just an over too many there for Seb. Just towards the end of that, he starts to drop down in his action and drop it in a little bit short sometimes. Doesn't get his wrist all the way behind the ball. Nevertheless, a pretty good spell from him. I think he's bowled 3 overs now and gone for not too many and 7 off the last 2 balls, rather ruining what was, I imagine, pretty nice figures.
I can look it up. Seb has gone for 3 overs, no maidens, 0 for 14. 4.7. Oh, I think he'd be happy with that.
Yeah, looks like it's longer to continue.
Indeed, to Merit, and that's a wide ball.
Stream lag is getting a little bit worse, so I'm going to try and keep my eyes on it for the guys at home.
They won't know because they're already
Of course.
The lag at home is something like 6 or 7 seconds, I would say, behind the live action. But
Just a play and miss outside the off stump.
Explain what we're talking about here. The signal has to carry from a camera that's about 100 yards away, and it takes a few milliseconds to hit the laptop, and it slowly builds the lag frame by frame. So the live action, in fact there's a single.
Pretty nicely picked up there, actually dropping a little bit short.
So I was saying that what happens is that the live action is at the moment about a second ahead of the what's on my video screen, and it doesn't sound a lot, but it does mean we have to pause a couple of seconds, otherwise we end up commentating before the ball is actually hit apparently on the screen.
That
Just
single from Merrick brought Hill back on strike, and it looks like Hill's really going to open his shoulders here. He's hit a number of balls in the air now down to long on. I think Ben Robinson might need his hands ready down there.
So Merrick in the black trousers, Sri Lanka bowling to him.
That's
Gets
beautifully
played back to
bowled
the bowler.
from Akshay. Got a little bit fuller and a little bit straighter there. Running back to his mark, Neil Thomas obviously been in his ear about over rate.
And that's chipped back with a square to Ollie Allison, juggles it a bit and picks it up and throws, and a single.
Dropped in a little bit short again there from Akshay. He'll be disappointed with that. I think that's maybe Akshay's biggest challenge, his length. When he gets it nice and full, he's a very good bowler.
So the run rate now up above 14 required for over. And that's well struck, but no run. And after the halfway stage, 10 overs, we have Copford have moved on to 61 for 1.
Wheeler taking his cap off again to reveal his Professor Snape-like hair. Looks like he's going to bowl out here. This will be his 4th. Maybe an over too many for me. I think he bowled pretty well in his first 3. Maybe a good chance to get someone else a bowl, but who am I to question Captain McGregor?
He's bowled 3 overs now, mains 0 for 14, so...
You've got 63?
I've got 62.
It's Merritt on strike, so I should be correct. And that's dot to Merritt.
Yeah, Merritt's really struggling to pierce this offside field. He looks like a dominant offside player, but Colchester's probably got 2 of their best fielders in Haynes and Allison blocking that offside. I think this is a pretty good area from Seb. I think he's gone a little bit straight, knowing Merritt's strength in the offside, trying to encourage him to go over that leg side.
See the line now. It is only a second or 2, but it's just annoying enough to make it difficult. Firmly struck, fielded by the bowler.
Fielded by McGregor, I think you'll find, Phil. Just beat Seb Wheeler and straight through to Joe McGregor, captain.
I thought Seb Wheeler had got hold of that, to be honest.
No, not quite the heroics of Vikas Agarwal on his own bowling.
Oh, that was awesome yesterday.
Vikas,
it is now
course,
so dark here. I mean, on the stream it'll look nice, bright and sunny, but it is very, very dark.
Vikas, of course, a very, very popular man at the club. I imagine he's probably the leading wicket taker.
He is indeed.
One of the play cricket badges might correct me, but Phil, I'll take Phil's word for
No,
it.
he is
leading wicket taker.
He's the leading wicket taker, and he, I believe, is also the most economical. He has bowled spells of 16, 17 overs for 20 to 25 runs, and that has gone skyward, and it's beaten everybody. So Joseph Merritt takes 2 runs. Copford ever slipping further behind the rate required here, which is 15.38, but it's a spirited effort from a group of very young lads. I think there's probably an average age difference of 2 or 3 years here between the more mature Colchester lads and the young Copford lads.
I think they pulled it back quite nicely with the ball, Copford, actually. I think when Ollie Allison was going at the start, we were maybe striking at 13s, 14s. So to only go for, was it 200, 201 or something in the end?
Yeah.
I think there was pretty good effort, all things considered.
So 64 off 11.
I'm still 1 out with you, but yeah, okay. I'll carry on with mine.
If you want to, I should be correct, Petra, because if...
What did you have that as? Because I had the last over, it was wide 2-1.
Oh, bear with me, hang on. Last over...
So the long car one.
Oh, the long car one.
Yeah, so it was a wide.
Wide dot 1 1 dot 1 dot.
No, so I had them down as running a 2.
Running 2.
Yeah, Danny ran a 2.
But that would have put, if Danny run a 2 there, it would have put the wrong batsman on strike.
Right.
So,
Okay.
that was just a dot, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually bowling a good length there.
Yeah.
Merritt struggling to get him away.
Just that's well hit down the ground.
Yeah, that's beautifully hit from Merritt. He's been trying to open that offside up for a number of deliveries now, and he's finally got one up over the top.
I can only assume that I'm right here, Petra,
Yeah, no,
because
that's fine. So what have you got then on this over now?
Norton 4.
Lovely, thank you.
Otherwise, the computer would put the wrong
It would put the wrong
batsman
facing,
on
yeah.
strike. So this is why here it's so critical. We have 2 scorers, which of course we didn't have yesterday. Wide ball, signalled by umpire Neil Thomas. I did 120 overs on my own. I know I was helped with by Neil Thomas with eyes,
Yeah.
but you can't.
You only have to look down.
Yeah, you look
Oh,
down
don't
and
say
you don't know
something.
what's happened. So that's well struck into mid off for just a single.
Pretty risky single, but I think Colchester are quite happy to give 1s or 2s away here.
Yeah, I think they're in lazy mode now. It is pretty dark, and I wouldn't want to wear one, to be perfectly honest.
Pretty dark and pretty cold.
And that's punched out to
Guy Haynes there at cover with a decent one-handed stop. Guy Haynes, of course, made of glass, permanently injured. I don't think he's actually got any complaints ongoing at the moment, but give it a week or two. I'm sure he'll come up with some reason of why he's injured.
So Merritt with the black trousers, back on strike to Longcar. That's actually a very nice shot for nothing.
That is beautifully struck from Merritt. That's probably as clean as he's hit the ball all afternoon. However, that's a beautiful pickup from Guy Haynes and shot at the stump, probably at the wrong end.
But it was actually his call.
Yeah. Longcar getting ready to come in again.
So Merritt's just pushed that out.
Yeah, Merritt hitting the ball really nicely in this over actually. Just found a little bit of timing here. Not quite going to reach the boundary on this occasion. Oscar Baker's down there.
And he gets 3 for his troubles. So at the end of the over, 74 for 1 off 12. Seb Wheeler has bowled out, 4 overs, no maidens, 0 for 17. And this is a sanitised break. So, question.
And a pretty interesting looking bowling change in
Yes.
the
Well, I
pending
don't know
here.
very interesting. It's
As Ben Robinson looks like he's marking his run.
curiouser and curiouser. I think they said in Alice in Wonderland, didn't they? Cheshire Cat, wasn't it? Curiouser and curiouser.
Really anything could come out here, Phil. This could be a great route back into the game for Copford, but
I
nevertheless,
think
let's hope Benny can...
16 and over, then you've got to do a lot of digging, I think.
Who's bowling?
Ben Robinson,
Ben
this
Robinson
is.
bowling to Joseph Merritt.
I think it's probably going to be leg breaks, Phil. Of course, this is how he got out Mike Atherton's son just a few years ago. That actually looks like a little seamer to me, so I've gone a bit ahead of the stream there.
Yeah.
Robinson's now sprinting back to his mark.
It could be they've been warned about overrun. I haven't checked the time, but that's
Shot
just.
straight in the air and up to McGregor. It's fallen short.
I'll have to check the innings timings, but
And that is an absolute pie by Ben Robinson. that has unfortunately fallen into the hands of Guy Haynes. That's pretty ropey to watch, but well done, Ben. Got himself a wicket.
A wicket, and it's
the safe hands of Guy Haynes there
caught
at cover.
by Guy Haynes. And who have we got here? Petra.
It should be Tom Bullen going in. Yes, it is definitely.
Yeah.
Blue
So
shoes.
Tom Bullen. Did I manage to catch the catch on the replay? Possibly not, 'cause I think it was outside the. Yeah. Outside the line of the camera.
So a dot wicket.
We have dot wicket indeed, Petra. 74 for 2 off 12.3. Loads of wickets in hand here.
Bullen's a pretty famous surname in the ranks of Copford Cricket Club, so let's hope he can live up to it. I don't know if he's the son of, is it Mark?
It's
that him
Mark down there, yeah.
Does he hold a role at Copford at the moment, Petra?
Mark is still on the committee. He does our fixtures. He was our previous chairman, but that's been handed over to Piers.
So this is Bullen on strike, who cuts that forward. In fact, cuts it more into cover sort of.
Another
area.
pretty ropey bit of bowling from Robinson there. Banging away short of a length. Maybe thinks he's a little bit quicker than he is, but that one's chopped over the top of Oliver Allison. Guy Haynes round to do the fielding again.
So Danny Hill on strike, and that is.
And there
Definite ropey piece of bowling.
There is a little bit of that leg spin that I alluded to earlier. I think he's maybe better served with the seam up from the evidence of that.
3 to Danny Hill.
It's a big old boundary though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge.
I think we should question Ben Robinson whether he's bowling for runouts here.
And
Good take.
that's really zipped through. It's a decent stop from McCarroll. I don't think there's anything on it from the batsman.
So Copford move on to 78 for 2 off 13. 7 overs to go. Ash Lonka has bowled out. So is this?
This looks like Guy Haynes is going to get a bit of a
Guy
bowl here.
Haynes to have a bowl now.
There
This
is-
is something I've never seen.
There is a little bit of fizz round through the field by the Colchester lads, so I think umpire Thomas may well have given a little bit of a warning about overrate. Of course, with a lack of spin options.
Well, I think it's more important the
Like
lack
creep
of wickets, because wickets give you allowances.
Yeah.
So this is to Hill, who's been in for a long time, and he has belted that for 4. Hill
Yeah.
now 26 off 21, 13 overs bowled, and he's still only faced 21 balls. That's definitely strike avoidance, I think, in the fine stakes.
That's way too short from Guy Haynes there. That's very easy for an opening batsman to just slog away to the
Looks a
the
good bat.
deep cow,
Looks a good
cow
bat, this
boundary.
Danny Hill.
Guy, of course, will be listening to this about 4 seconds after he leaves the field of play.
And
Short again from Haynes.
single to Hill.
Yeah, good cricketing family, Guy Haynes. His sister been a good player for the club, and of course his father's filled in at times for Colchester. Scored lovely 80 runs down at Clacton a few years ago for our Sunday side. That's actually very nicely bowled from Guy Haynes. I think that's spun a bit and beaten the batsman on the inside edge. The
Oh,
umpire
bye. I
umpire
thought he'd
signalled
nicked
bye.
that, so I need to delete that and
Neil's
replace it
waving
with a
at us.
bye. I didn't spot the pre-signal, so I assumed that was an inside edge. but-
Bit of encouragement there for Guy. Bit of turn there for him.
And Hill has hit that firmly out to long, where it is stopped. But the batsman get 2.
Nice unnecessary roll there from Ben Robinson at long on.
Yeah. So Hill moves on to 29 off 23. And smart bit of work by Jamie McCarroll,
Yeah,
but
very
the
sharp from Jamie.
batsman, if he had left his crease, has managed to get back in time.
Pretty brave of the Copford umpire going out in shorts on an afternoon like this.
He made that comment earlier on, brave man. That looked like interesting delivery.
Well, that's a bag of licorice there from Guy Haynes. There's all sorts come out in that over. A couple which have turned a bit, which will have a bit of encouragement from, and also a load of pies as well. So we'll see if he gets another over. It looks like it's going to be Ben Robinson continuing with his bag of tricks.
And Copford on 86 for 2 of 14. The required rate now 19.67 and over. So
Yeah.
I think it's time for these lads to have a bit of fun. And Tom Bullen has swept that square, back with a square in fact, and gets a deserved 4.
Looked like that might have been another one of them leg breaks from Robinson. I do think he's better served with the seamers. Of course, there's a lot of quality bowlers at Joe McGregor's disposal here, but he's really shuffling his pack with 20 required and over. I think he can afford to bowl a number of different options. Just as the coach encourages Robinson to go back to the seamers, he bowls a pretty rank seamer way outside the off stump and is a wide ball.
And that's cut backward of point.
Looks like Sharma might have got a hand on that, maybe preventing the boundary.
So that's 2-2 Bullen.
Now into the bullet arm of Ollie Ellison, who lopes that one back into Robinson.
It was 2-2 Bullen, wasn't it, Petra?
2 to Bullen,
Yeah. And that is out to mid-wicket for just a single.
Bullen pulled that away quite nicely there. I think he looks like quite a strong batsman.
8 off 6 so far. I think ball bit of field in there, so they scamper for 1.
Oh, there's all sorts going on here, Phil.
But no, just 1.
Potentially hitting McCarroll's foot, potentially the back of the batsman's bat. Nevertheless, no harm done for Colchester. Ball back in the bowler's
This
hands.
is the joy of T20 for scorers. Lots of things going on, too many things to watch, and that's a wide ball
that they've run on. That's the first one of
they've
those.
actually run. Jay McCarroll wearing that one, I think.
Yeah, Robinson not quite found his line this over. For all the sledging I'm giving him, he did bowl a couple of little nice ones in the previous over.
Well, it's 11 off the over plus whatever we've got for this, which is a single.
Much better there from Robinson. He'd much prefer to be hit down the ground than pulled square of the wicket or slapped over through point. Looks like Robinson's going a long way back here. He seems to be coming off the long run. Ambles in, struggling to make the wicket.
And Tom Bullen has hit that quite nicely out, I think that's sort of squarish to point, and takes 2. So I think that's something like 14 for the over. 98 for 2, and that is the 100 up for Copford, which is coming 15 overs and 52 minutes. So will we see Guy Haynes reappearing?
Looks like it will be Guy Haynes to continue, Phil. Ball back in his hands.
So Haynes to Danny Hill, who's carrying his bat here.
Beautifully pulled away from Hill. That's going to go all the way for 4.
Fine 4.
I reckon that's in a puddle as well, Phil. So I think Guy Haynes might be asked to bowl with a pretty soggy ball when he gets that one back.
Yeah, it can be quite wet down there, isn't it?
Where? Our game yesterday was video at Millwall.
George Mathis and Joe Merritt.
Did he argue yesterday, Patrick?
That's well struck, but
Looks like
no run.
a little seamer there from Guy.
Let's let that go. It's quite a lot now. And that has castled him.
That's actually, for all the stick I've given him, that's beautifully bowled by Guy Haynes.
That's what
He's
happened.
given it a little bit more air, there's a little bit of turn in it. It's taken the top of his middle stump, and that is the back of, is that Hill going?
Yeah.
Yes, Danny Hill.
And how was he dismissed?
It was
Bowled.
bowled Haynes.
Thank you.
Quite a nice innings from Danny Hill there. Of course, starved of the strike throughout. Maybe if it had got a bit more of it, Copford would be in a slightly stronger position in the game.
Well, he didn't
Nevertheless, I think he can be pretty pleased with his afternoon's
well,
work.
35 off 30 and in for 15 overs, just didn't get the strike. So, is this George Monks?
No, going in is Robbie Tunn.
Robbie Tunn is the new
Yeah.
batsman.
Yeah, we just had George Monks in the box here. So this
Oh,
six,
yeah.
we had four. What we've got so far, four.
4-dot wicket is this over.
That's lovely, thank you.
I've just got a WhatsApp message from Tim Debenham. Hello to Tim if you're watching along at home. Tim asks, why is Robert Slip? He couldn't catch a cold. I do concur, Tim. It's a very fair comment. We've actually got Joe McGregor in at Slip at the
Yeah, I was
moment.
going to say there's a misidentification there because it's McGregor. Who's
No, Robinson was at Slip
Previous
about
over.
20 minutes ago when Tim texted. I'm taking my commentary very seriously, so not looked at my phone too much.
That's just played out towards the covers. No run.
Yeah, Tim Debenham and Tan Shahid, fantastic additions to the club a couple of years ago now. They've put in some great performances for our team.
That's been well mullered. And 4 to Robbie Tunn, showing his intent. Copford move on to 108 for 3. Run rate required now 23 and over, but a good spirited effort by this group of much younger lads. That has castled Robbie Tunn. So Robbie Tunn is bowled by Guy Haynes.
I think to be fair to Robbie Tunn, he's come in, he's shown a fair bit of intent, and it has probably proved his downfall. But it's good to see a batsman come out there and not want to chew up a load of deliveries.
Right.
Man after my own heart.
So
Luke Pressmeg should be next.
right, this should be Luke Pressmeg. Is that the right pronunciation? Pressmeg.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he fielded well actually.
He
first.
did. I remember.
Yeah.
He looks a very young lad though.
He is. Yeah, he's under. Dylan is. Nick
I
Press was his
think
year
we've
11.
had, maybe we I was going to say maybe we've had enough of Robinson, but who's
Yeah, that looks like Robinson's been whipped out of the attack, which has got to be the right call from Captain McGregor. Felix Bomb Roberts, the opening bowler, is going to be reintroduced.
right? Only been my list.
It's a decent sized run Felix has got there. I'm not sure he needs all of that, but
So bowling to Tom Bullen.
Bullen's looked very assured so far. I think he might go after Felix here.
Oh, that was a bit uppish, but 2 runs.
Slapped away, didn't quite get all of it. It's the shorter side of the ground over there, but hauled in by a combination of Allison and Haynes. Is of course Ollie Allison out there today. Charlie is here, but he's only watching due to his injury. There's an appeal here for caught behind, but
Optimistic.
not too confident. Ball is rolled back for Felix.
Who's bowling here?
This is Bomb Roberts, I think.
Felix
he's
Bomb
bowling
Roberts.
one or
Okay,
two.
I've missed the
Sorry.
over there. That's
Yeah.
alright. So that 2 was...
A 2 and a dot.
Yeah, 2 was off on Roberts. That looked pretty wide, but the umpire's been quite generous to Felix there, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think Bullen might be quite disappointed that he didn't lay a bit of bad on that.
This is odd because the lag's caught up. You can't win with this. Very strange.
Pretty smart bit of bowling from Felix. He's maybe a little bit wide here. Bullen looks like he's after a bit of width, wants to lash it away through that leg offside again. Bullen's tried to give himself a bit of room there, again trying to open up that offside. Looks like a number of players in this Copford lineup are offside dominant. Could say that about my own game as well. Taught at Copford, obviously got very coaching methods that have lasted a number of years now.
Is that because there's a tree and you have to avoid it?
Have to avoid the tree, potentially.
As well hit, but fielded by Joe McGregor and a single. So end of the over. Nelson 111 for 4 off 17, 3 overs to go. Run rate required now is 31 and over. Only 4 wickets down, so slight shame in some respects that some of the Copford lads down the order are not going to get a knock here.
Well, you say that, Phil, but Guy Haynes 2 wickets in the last over. If you can knock on another couple over here, we might get through to the tail.
There's the big question.
It was always great.
Floodlights, that's what we miss.
Yeah, it is a bit
When they
dark.
do the new building.
And that is...
Yeah, Pavilion Development Fund has got a bit of a boost recently. I don't think the capacity to get floodlights in is quite there yet.
Neighbours will love it.
That's a beautiful stop by Felix Roberts actually, mid-wicket.
Just a single.
That's really nicely struck by, I think that was Bullen.
Yes.
Yeah, Bullen.
Only 1 run. Guy Haynes dropping in a bit short. He wants to return to that length he found in the last over.
And bowl straight. So, Pressmeg left-hander.
Potentially another seamer there from Hainsey. Maybe I'm better served watching on the stream because it is quite dark and we, of course, a long way from the action up here on the balcony in the Castle Park Pavilion.
Welcome to the life of a scorer at Castle Park. It is a long, long, long way. And that is ballooned up. And they're going for 2 and comfortably make it. So Luke Pressmeg opens his account.
That's an awful bit of bowling from Haynes, but he's not been punished. It's way too short. He looks pretty happy with his work though. He's got 2 for 18, I think that says there. From his 3 overs.
Is 3 overs, no maidens, 2 for 18.
Pretty good day for Guy Haynes all in all today. May well get another over, but he's taken 2 wickets. He scored a beautiful 50 in the first game against Saffron Walden. A couple of really clean strikes. And then handy runs again today, batting at 3. It's a position that's coming quite naturally to him at the moment.
Bon Roberts from the river end to Bullen.
Actually, Phil, I think that's Sharma bowling before you key that in. Sharma returning to the attack, the opening bowler. That one's edged. Maybe
Good
didn't
spot.
quite carry to Jamie McCarroll there.
No.
Half stopped by him, and then Robinson round to clean up.
So just a single. Bring your left-handed Pressmeg. No, I didn't spot the good spot of the change of bowling there. But it is
Sharma in
hellishly dark.
in Simon Fernandez number 11 shirt there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to the Fernandez brothers for the loans of the shirts this afternoon.
Yeah. but the message from the players is, can we have your sweaters as well next week?
Right.
Wide ball. 'Cause it's
Arian's racing back to his mark here. I can only think they are behind the over 8. I think incurring a 6-run penalty won't be the end of the world for the Colchester boys.
It's an hour and 15 minutes, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
yeah. And a single.
Someone's had a bit of a dig at Oscar Baker for moving a bit slowly there at mid-off. I think it's good to see the Colchester players still wanting to save every run they can, even at this late
Well,
stage
you
of
can't
the game.
blame Oscar Baker's slow movement for slow over rate. Dots.
Often cops the bird, Oscar, but he's really stepped up his cricket this year. He's bowling a lot quicker and is moving the ball quite nicely when he's been bowling. Hitting the ball hard in the nets as well. Not quite managed to replicate it in game, but I'm sure we'll see it soon.
Oh.
And that has holed out to
That's into the beautiful hands of Guy Haynes.
Indeed.
Doesn't
so
drop many, Guy Haynes. Took a lovely catch and
Tom
slip
Fuller.
yesterday. He's taken skies and a couple of flat ones at cover this afternoon, showing his array of catching ability.
So incoming batsman will be George Monks. I don't know whether I managed to. I will have captured the shot, I think, but I don't think I caught the catcher there on the replay. No, I wasn't quick enough. Sorry about that.
Despite having these fantastic filming facilities that you've supplied us with, Phil, that's not stopped Joe McGregor from having a pop at you for not catching his catch earlier on camera, but never mind. Some of us at the club are grateful for these great filming facilities.
If the club will pay £1,000 for a superior network video recorder with audio and video mixer, anything's possible. But no, the issue is that although I'm using 2 cameras, it is a case that the 2 streams are coming in simultaneously, and they're not simultaneously recording. It's toggle between one or the other. Yeah. And with a network video recorder they use at the counties, you can record multiple streams, so you could replay the wide angle rather than. But and the dots.
It's a pretty good over that from Arian, actually returning to the attack. He'll be pleased to get himself a wicket there.
And after the 19th over, 117 for 5. So the equation is 87 to win off 1 over. So unless we have a long afternoon of no balls and wides, and
Haynes is going to complete
Haynes
this
3
start,
overs, no maidens, 2 for 12 to continue to loop Pressmeg, sorry.
It's gone absolutely nowhere. I've given Joe a little bit of abuse there, but I think he's marshalled his troops excellently today. I've known Joe for a very long time now. This is Guy Haynes.
It's still Guy Haynes still.
And maybe the worst hands in the club have been proved again as Robinson puts down a very, very easy chance. I don't think you can blame the dark for that one.
And a single to Pressmeg. I think we're probably the only recreational club in the country that is now using 2 cameras on audio. So
Very, very good.
very advanced in.
Yeah, very lucky to have these great facilities here at Castle Park. Supplied by. I think that's going to be gone as well.
Like
it is.
a stump pin, so that's George Monks.
McCarroll rewarded for a pretty good afternoon behind the stumps.
And hopefully I'll be playing a replay there in a moment. And that looks some sharp work.
I've got the list now, thanks Mark. I've got Taylor Archer has gone in.
So Taylor Arkle Archer, I think that is.
Arkley Archer.
Taylor Arkle.
Arkley.
Oh,
Archer.
Arkley. Taylor Arkley
Yeah.
Archer. So fine bit of work there by the Colchester wicketkeeper. Just 3 balls remaining.
Yes, there is. 'Cause I dropped it in.
Well,
Yeah, that's Guy Haynes collecting, I think, his third wicket there. Could, of course, be 4 if
no, it's
Ben Robinson could catch,
Yeah.
but never mind.
3 for 19. He has got. Yeah, there'll be some conversations. And I'd like to make a personal shout out to the McGregor family for the fantastic birthday cake I found this morning in the cricket club fridge.
Yeah, wonderful family, the McGregors.
Two leg buys.
Very thoughtful, very nice gesture. That
Well, I thought it was one. I mean, I left yesterday without realising they'd done it, and we just missed each other. But big shout out for Claire, who I gather went to, I think it was M&S, to buy me this most magnificent chocolate cake that has been enjoyed by most of the players today and plenty of other people in the bar. So one delivery to come. Luke Pressmeg to receive it from Guy Haynes for a fairly satisfactory afternoon for the Colchester under-19s. 2 wins, and that is hit for a single.
Yeah, a little bit quicker there from Guy to finish off. He'll be very happy with his afternoon's work.
So
As he shakes Neil Thomas's hand.
end of the innings, and Colchester have won by 81 runs, so I need to select the right result here and press save.
Yeah, as you round off, Phil, I think I'm going to leave and have a chat to the boys.
Yeah,
Very proud of our afternoon's work. 2 wins.
And
Big shout out to Copford in this game for being competitive all the way through. I thought they've handled themselves very well today.
And thanks for your help on commentary here. It's so much easier when there is a second voice on the mic.
Another pair of eyes.
Thanks very much.
And an
Cheerio,
extra pair
guys.
of eyes. And I'd also like to thank Petra for keeping me company in the score box here.
Here, take care.
And with that, we will close off the live stream, and those who've been watching say thank you very much and good evening.